Welcome to another session for the Daily Database Insight. The previous session we've talked about SQL Server authentication. We've created a SQL Server authenticated account. We've created a Windows domain account. I've walked you through the process of creating identity on Active Directory users and accounts. I've went ahead and showed you how to create an Active Directory account on your database. Now we come to the point where we are wondering, is there a better way to manage all these Active Directory on an individual perspective, or do we have groups in Active Directory? Absolutely, we have groups, and that introduces a way easier method of managing your Active Directory accounts. Let's go back to the Active Directory users and groups, and here we are. So now we have Tina Turner, we have SVC PeopleSoft, we have Tom Dennis, and I have already created a group here called PS admin. So how do you create a group? It's pretty simple. You right click the domain, you would go to new group, and what it would do is let's say we're going to create PeopleSoft DB or PeopleSoft dev group. So this is the group we're going to create. So I'll create that group, I'll open that group, and I'm gonna add members to this group, PeopleSoft Dev Team, which is gonna be, I need Tina Turner to be part of this group, and then I need Tom Dennis to be part of this group, and finally I'm also gonna make that SVC PeopleSoft as PeopleSoft as part of this group. So I've added 3 members to that group. Okay, then now what I need to do is go back to my SQL Server, and then instead of creating a login, an individual user login, like what I did before, in this case what I would do is I would create it as PSDev. So I'm gonna be creating a login for members of a group or a Windows group, which inherently it is going to authenticate anybody who is a member of that group. In that way, we can easily manage this from Active Directory once it has been preset, and we don't have to have these individual accounts on the database credentials or on the login. So I'll create that. Now we have an Active Directory group. So if I was to check Tina Turner access methodology to this SQL Server instance, when I run that script, it would show me that Tina Turner is coming in as Tina Turner. But if I was to check who is a member of the PSDev group, then I would use the same store procedure, but I would supply the name of the store procedure, the Active Directory group, and the value members, and in this way it would tell me the members of that specific Active Directory group. So at this point, if I decided to get rid of Tina Turner's login account, I'll just drop that. Yeah, she is currently logged in unless I close that session. Now let's say I drop TomD. I drop TomD. Alright, so TomD is dropped. But remember, we have PSDev Active Directory group still accessing this particular SQL Server instance. So let's say I'm trying to find out, I know Tom has access to this box, but I actually don't know how he usually accesses it. So I'm gonna search for Tom, and I want to see which login groups he is actually a member of. If I search that, you can see that Tom can actually access this environment or this box, and this is Tom's permission path. It is mapped onto PeopleSoft dev group. So that is a way of you actually telling how people are actually getting into your SQL Server instances and actually knowing their permission paths into getting into your SQL Server database instances using the stored procedure XP login info. So that concludes this session. If you know anybody else who is still trying to figure out how TomD or Tina Turner or SVC PeopleSoft service accounts are actually authenticated to access these boxes or the SQL Server instances, you must show them this video. And if they still need more help, ask them to come talk to me. I will point them in the right direction. Stay tuned. I'm going to show you one last thing regarding credentials, and you should be good to go in terms of accessing your SQL servers and knowing exactly what you need to know what type of authentication you have or what type of user is accessing and how they're accessing in terms of permission path and stuff like that. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to drop them on the comments, because I will definitely respond as soon as I can. Thank you. Bye.